back in the studio, or what is our studio. We got everything going on here. You got basketball camps, you got workouts going on. It never ends for you guys, does it?
It never ends. Today's a big day. I mean, football, all the recruits reported this weekend. They had physicals. Basketball had physicals. So,
Everybody pass their physical?
Yeah, everyone's good. Men's and women's basketball get to start workouts now, and football gets started. So we're up and running.
Poke Nation, Jim Gazzolo, Heath Schwer. It's just us two today. We're going to relive this year.
Oh, my gosh.
Look
just
forward
you.
to next year. It's our year ender.
Yep.
It's a big one. All right, lots of things to talk about, but you hit me with a bombshell when you walked in.
What's that?
You're losing your tennis coach?
Yes.
She sets all these records, and Gabby's gone.
You know what? Gabby has done an unbelievable job. I'm so happy for her. She's going to go to University of Indiana as a head tennis coach, which obviously is in the Big Ten. It's a huge jump. It was, it's bittersweet, because she's done such a great job here. But I'm also really, really happy for her. She came here. She completely flipped the program around. We're on a great trajectory, and she's going to do great. And, it's only 3 hours from where she grew up.
Yeah.
So for her son to be close to her grandparents, and listen, it's Indiana.
It's a Big Ten school. It's actually a pretty good tennis program as well.
Right. Yep.
And it's close to her home in Chicago, so it's a win-win for everybody.
And look, you and I have talked about it. That's what
That's what you are.
That's what we are. Like if you come here and you kick butt for 2 or 3 years and you're young and whatever, and realistically you're not from this area, if you will. It's okay to better yourself, and it's University of Indiana. It's not like she went to Lamar. So we didn't lose her to there. Like she's
people at Beaumont will love you now. Making friends everywhere you go, aren't you?
It's Indiana, so I'm happy for her.
Just making friends with everybody in this. All right, wild year for you guys. Start off with football has a record bad year. Basketball has a record good year.
Yeah.
Baseball finishes strong. Softball wins 40 games. You have a tennis year that was a record setter. Where does it set in? Because it started slow but gained so much momentum. What kind of a year was it for you guys?
Well, I think that when you really peel the onion completely back and say, okay, well, how do we finish? We had 8 teams finish in the top 3 in our conference, which is a first. We finished second in the Commissioner's Cup, which is the highest finish that McNeese has ever had in the Southland. So I think it was a banner season for us. Obviously, we got to win football games. I've said it on this, on this
many
show
times.
a lot of times, and that's the elephant in the room. We have to win football games. I'm really excited about our roster and the changes we made on the staff and responsibilities. I think that will pay dividends. But it's time for us to win football games.
Yeah, but it was a really strange year because you didn't win many games, but you still led the conference in attendance. Well, shows the potential of this place.
Yeah, McNeese is, I've said for a long time, is a sleeping giant. I said that when I came here, and I believe that more, every day. But, we have that one of the things that makes this job so appealing and such a great job is the fan base. We lead the league in attendance in almost every sport. And it's just, we have unbelievable fans, and we have a passionate fan base, and I want to deliver for them, like basketball did, and we have to be greatly improved. Look, we were 8 of our sports have done it, this year, finished in the top 3. That's that is the metric for me.
Yeah.
Obviously women's basketball and football, we've got to turn the tide and get back to competing for championships.
Which brings us to this.
Yep.
Last week, officially, Stephen F. Austin, something I predicted 3 years ago, you might remember.
You did.
I know people don't want to give me credit for that, but I said they're coming back. They're never going to.
Yep.
They came back. It flips the schedule. So let's talk a little bit about the football schedule in general. 2 games on national TV the first 3 weeks.
Yep.
Opportunity to be seen starting at Tarleton. Home game against Southern that's probably going to be close to a sellout because Southern always brings a good crowd. But a strange kind of schedule in as you don't play at home at all in August or in October. Do you like the schedule, or is it just something you have to get through again because of the change in conference?
Well, there's things I love about the schedule. I love playing on week 0 on ESPN.
Yeah.
I love 2 of our first 3 games on linear ESPN. I
Sure.
love that. I don't like the fact that we don't have a home game in October.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have to win. We can put all that aside. Do I like some of that? No, I don't. But when you bring another Stephen F. Austin in, everyone has to make some sacrifices. There's all these teams have to juggle their schedules,
Sure.
et cetera. And for us, that's one of the things I didn't like. I didn't like not having a home game in October. I told Chris that. But I also understand that, we all have to make sacrifices when, you can't say, hey, Stephen F. Austin, we don't want you right now.
Yeah.
Because we're worried about a home football game.
You can't have lame ducks these days.
That's right.
In smaller conferences.
100%. So, I knew that this was a potential sacrifice we needed to
Sure.
make. But at the end of the day, for the betterment of the league and our conference, we had to do it. It's unfortunate, but listen, we got 12 opportunities to go win football games, and I believe that the way this program is now funded, with the new locker room, a new weight room coming, what we have in cost of attendance, et cetera, like we need to have the mentality that we're McNeese football, and we're going to play you anywhere, anybody, anywhere, anytime. That's the mentality that we need to have, and we have 12 opportunities to go win football games, and we got to go win our share.
When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about scheduling after this on Poke Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
We're back with Heath Shore, Athletic Director at McNeese State University. And, I do have a question about the Stephen F. Austin thing, about the future moving forward. Not about extra conferences and that'll play out. But next year, you go back to 11 games. Mm-hmm. You have 3 non-conference games already set. Mm-hmm. Will you petition for a 12th game, or will you play just 8 conference games? Has the conference decided what it wants to do? Moving forward, you're going to play 9 games eventually.
Moving forward, we will. I'm not quite, Chris and I talked about that. He was actually in town this past weekend for a little bit, and we talked about that.
Yeah, you guys had lunch, didn't invite me.
We did have lunch.
And I wasn't invited.
You were a topic of the conversation.
That's not a good thing I got to do.
So that's something we're trying to work out and figure out. I'm not quite sure where we're going to end on that within the league.
But could you petition for a 12th?
I think we could. I'm all for playing as many games as we can, especially if it leads us to, getting into, the playoffs and et cetera. And for us, another home game, because we will have the press box. So I was going
to ask that. Could you have a home game and you petition for a week 0 at home?
that you just steal all my thoughts. Yes, there are thoughts.
That's why you need to hire me, man. I'm right here. No, but that makes a lot of sense to me. Is you could unveil your new press box
right
on week 0 on ESPN and maybe make it a conference opener. Bring in some big name from the conference.
That is an idea that we've talked about. Don't know where we're going to end on that, but we'll see.
Okay, well, there you go. Great minds think alike, as I've always said. Okay, basketball-wise, I know I bug you with this. Do we have any home games?
Not yet. We're working on it. I mean, I talked to Coach Chambers, a couple times a week.
That poor guy. That poor guy can't get anybody to answer his phone.
Here's the thing, though, is that it's still early. I know it sounds crazy out there, but at some point, someone's going to blink, right? And you have
you need 4 to blink.
But we'll get, we're allowed non-Division Ones. We're trying to play less of those.
Yes.
But we want to get a couple of Division I home games somehow, some way. But we'll figure it out. Listen, I have all the confidence in the world in this staff, and we'll figure it out.
It's a pretty good schedule outside of that.
It's a great schedule.
You can get a couple of home Division I mid-majors.
It's a great schedule.
It's a really good schedule.
It's a great schedule. It really lines up well for us to have a great RPI, a great net, if you will. So I'm excited. I mean, especially going to the Virgin Islands and being able to play those teams on a neutral site is a big deal. But look, I mean, we're a program right now. It's amazing how fast it's flipped, but we're a program right now that people are afraid to play at home, and they really want us in those tournaments because we bring a great net as well. Like the Kansas States of the world want McNeese in that tournament because that's good because that's good for
that's
our
a good net game for them.
Absolutely. So it's really funny, how fast it turned. But Coach Wade and his staff have done a phenomenal job, and I'm really, really excited about this basketball season.
I can't believe somebody like a Texas Southern wouldn't want to come here though. Or a Southern or a Grambling. Grambling was a tournament team. This would be a huge benefit for Grambling.
You would think, yeah.
This would be a good game for them.
I know, you would think.
It's an interesting dilemma and one that I want to ask you about the recruiting because recruiting-wise, I've never seen a flip in recruiting than this in this year. What do you? I mean, I know you guys went and did a lot of different things, but all of a sudden, everything's kind of come together with the way you changed recruiting. NIL has gotten into it. Your facilities are better now and coming back on board. Have you ever seen a jump like this in a year?
In all sports?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But again, I said this in the first segment. I think the biggest problem with McNeese when I took over was McNeese.
Sure.
And the limitations that we put on ourselves. And it's taken a while to chip that wall, right? But I say every day to my staff, we meet every week, is that we can't put limitations on ourselves. We have to continue to push the envelope, and I think we've done that. I think that's trickled down to our staff. I think bringing Coach Wade here has really been
expose the university to the country.
Exactly right. And so all of a sudden, I think that now it's like, oh wow, we're really look at our facilities in football and volleyball, softball, baseball, all of them. The recruiting has really elevated, and I think that again, you have to have a higher expectation of ourselves. At the end of the day, there's no reason why every single sport, year in, year out, should not be in the top 3 of this conference. We should, because we have the best facilities, we have the best fan base, and we're the best funded. Now, adding Stephen F. Austin, you can make an argument that they're really funded. Lamar's funded.
Yes.
Incarnate Word is really funded in certain areas. But overall, big picture, no one has all those things like we do. And it's taken a lot of work to get there. But I'm excited about where we're at, Jim. I really am.
Yeah, and you have everything on campus, which not everybody can say.
Right.
You have basically getting brand new or upgraded facilities. No, the future is bright for McNeese if you can keep it rolling. But I really think this started with, I try to tell people the branding really started with, you had baseball on TV for the NCAA tournament, then softball. You got little attention. Then you have football a little bit. But really, Will Wade just changed all that and exposed everybody to everything. When we come back on Poke Nation, we're going to talk about the future and this upcoming year with Heath Schroyer right after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, Our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
We're back on Poke Nation, and we talked a little bit about the Will Wade factor, but let's talk about the fact that you got him for a second year.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't think you would. It was costly. It cost some money, but you make money off of him.
For sure. Look, you know, when I signed Coach Wade, it was a fraction of what he made at LSU. Okay, and I promised him when we signed him, I said, look, as soon as this thing flips around, I will rip up the contract and, you know, give you everything that, you know, that we can to make it right, and for you and et cetera. Well, I went to him in December, and we signed a new contract then before the league season even started, because I wanted to be proactive. Like, look, when you're an athletic director or a position of leadership, you have two options. You can either be reactive or you can be proactive.
Yeah.
I had people on campus say, well, why would you do that? He hasn't got a job offer yet. Well, come on, guys. Like, so we were very proactive.
Who was on campus doing that?
You know, so anyway, so we were very proactive, and which I think really helped. He and I have a great relationship, and he loves it here. You know, he wants to leave this place, you know, in a place that it's never been before, and I love the guy. I think that what he's done for not only this basketball program, but this department, this university, and honestly, this community is something you can't put a price on.
Gonna get a third year out of him?
We'll see. We'll see.
Sure. Come on now, we can't go crazy on that. I do want to ask you mentioned something about cost of attendance. Explain people the cost of attendance a little bit from kind of a layman's term, because they don't understand, but you get, as they attend classes, basically, you get that money back.
Yeah,
How does that work?
So the NCAA determines a percentage, right, of like COA, cost of attendance. So like if a kid comes to school here, you know, you get your room, board, books, tuition, but there's also a cost of attendance. Like what does it, you know, cost, you know, it's
transportation.
Exactly. All those things factor into it. It's a percentage of you know what the scholarship is worth, and you're able to, as an institution, be able to give athletes that. So we obviously try to max out those areas in which we can, and you know, look, I mean, I believe that no matter if you're selling cars, you're running a restaurant, you're an athletic department, you're a coach, you're a TV station, it's all about recruiting and retaining talent. You have to have talent. Well, the only way you're going to get talent is you have to, have all the tools in the arsenal to recruit the talent.
Sure.
So, look, I mean, you can go to any business out there and say, well, it's people. How do I get if I'm a restaurant, I want to have a great chef. I want, great servers. I want, it's about recruiting and retaining talent. And this athletics is no different.
Yeah, and it's the cost of attendance. I know a lot of people think about, well, they get confused with NIL. It has nothing to do with NIL. No. It's strictly an NCAA reimbursement for the cost of going to class for kids who are on scholarship but don't have to get transportation to pay for things like that. I think it started a lot in big cities where you would take the buses and that. But so it's a little different. I just want to get people to understand it's not a part of the NIL.
No.
It's not a part of. Okay. Let's talk about your NIL, because all the things that are done today come through NIL or come through some form of NIL. The fact that you have a collective on campus, the fact that you're
not on campus.
No, but the fact that you have a collective that works with you, that works with. How important is that to establish that, and how much can that really grow in a place like here? And how do you get it to grow?
Well, I think that, look, at the end of the day, I think it's really, really important. I think that, NIL is the college landscape has continued to evolve. I think the whole NIL space is going to evolve again when this new lawsuit is passed. But right now, I mean, it's an independent of the university. It's its own LLC. It's its own marketing firm, and I think it's really important to have one established. I think that it's going to continue to grow because people are going to recognize the opportunities to utilize the athletes in their own marketing and things like that. So, look,
it's not just. I think people get a tendency to think it's not just we're paying for him to come to school and play.
Not at all.
There isn't a. It's a lot of it is advertising dollars. A lot of it is the kids go out and have to do certain things for that money.
Absolutely.
It is not a lot of people think it's just another form of paying for.
No, it's not.
It's like Christian Shoemate has a deal with his T-shirts.
Yeah, it's a real it's real contracts and everything runs through our compliance office. It's 100% legitimate, and I'm excited about where I think it can really grow. Because businesses are going to be able to, like you said, go to Christian Shoemate and say, hey, will you, be on this billboard for, whatever business is out there. They have the ability to do that. A lot of people didn't want NIL. Like, I believe it. I love it. I think it's great because in my mind, if this is a space we're going to work in, then let's be great at this space. And there's a lot. Look, there's a lot of athletic directors, administrations, universities that, want to put their head in the sand and still look backwards.
Yeah.
Look, the toothpaste is out of the tube,
now.
right? It's here. So it's what it is, and you either adapt or you die. And if this is the space that we're allowed to work in, let's dominate and be great in that space.
When we come back, we'll get our final segment with Heath Schroyer after this on Poke Nation.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
Hey, Lake Charles, Russ Silver is your Eye on the Lake guy here at Legacy Center on McNeese campus, and you're watching CBS Lake Charles. Go Pokes.
We're back with Heath Schroyer on Poke Nation, and I want to ask you this because a lot of people have asked me this. The NCAA settlement, not to get deep into the weeds here, how will that affect you guys? How does that affect mid-majors, and how does that affect FCS schools who are essentially asked to pick up the tab for something you had no control over and no benefit from? I don't want to get in trouble here, but you're going to have to make some adjustments for a while.
For sure, I think all of us are. I mean, it's just, again,
you can never really plan in this business.
The landscape, it's so fluid and continues to change. It will, our budget will take a hit, probably by a couple $100,000, and it'll be hit from the distribution. From the NCAA, and
it's money you're not going to get.
Correct, from the NCAA. So if the NCAA, because of look, what people need to understand, we get paid based on one thing, and that's the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we don't go to bowl games and get paid. So we only get paid through the NCAA tournament. So if you take a couple $100,000 out of our budget, okay, well, where does that money come from? The only place it can come is ticket sales, okay, and MAF, McNeese Athletic Foundation with corporate sponsorships. Those are really the two biggest areas that we can capitalize on. So how do you have to win? If you win games, then you're going to get 15,000 people in Cowboy Stadium. If you don't, you're not. That hurts us. And it puts more pressure on MAF and corporate sponsorships that I'm obviously working on every single day. So I think as much as we'll take a hit, I still think that we're positioned better than anyone else in our league, simply because our fan base, and we have the ability to generate more revenue through our corporate sponsors than anyone else that has a Learfield or Peak Sports or anybody else that is just going to say, hey, this is your budget. Well, our budget with MAF is $2.5 million. Now I got to get it to $3 million.
Yeah.
And the hard part is if I get to, $3 million, then we can operate a little bit better than we are now.
Yeah.
I wish we didn't have to say, we didn't have that, that burden, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because you guys did not have a representation in the room.
No.
It was a Power 5 NCAA deal. NCAA deciding to do something to save themselves. The Power 5 is trying to say we want to minimize our financial responsibility.
Correct. That's right.
So it's is it a situation where you may have to go out and while they'll still let you go out and get a second pay game?
Maybe. Absolutely.
That might cover it.
That is something that we're looking at as well. 100%.
Because that would at least cover it. Mm-hmm. But that's not really fair because that's going to take away a home game.
Agreed.
Too.
100%. But again, if I hate to say this and continue to say this, but it's about winning.
Yeah.
So you look at the revenue that men's basketball made this year compared to any year before. I mean, it's almost 10 times the amount.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it comes back to like football. Those are your two revenue generation. You have to win. If you win in football, people will come, and you're going to have more game day tickets, more beer sales, et cetera, et cetera. It comes down to winning. So we have to win in football, and we have to continue to win in basketball.
Do you think that there will be a time, or has anybody gone to the NCAA and said this is when we need a 12th football game for FCS? Has anybody talked about that?
Chris and I talked about that this past weekend. I think there's
going to be a heck of a lunch.
It was, yeah. And you were top in conversation.
But why not invite me to the lunch, and I'll give you all both of these right there, and I get a free lunch out of it.
Because I see enough of you.
I'll pay I'll pay my own way.
But we talked about that too, like getting a 12th game to have the flexibility of one, for us, a home game.
Yeah.
Two, also the ability to go pick up a group of 5, if you will.
Yeah.
An extra $300,000 to go play tech or whatever. But just to have the flexibility to balance your budget with an extra game is something I think I'm a really, really big proponent of.
We're almost going to have to. I mean, they have to give you something if they're going to make you pay for it.
I think so too.
And they're going to get the money anyway because they're taking it anyway. They're garnishing your wages kind of anyway to begin with. So you might as well. All right. So we've talked about this. Talked about everything going on. Has anything changed as far as your pregame? You're still going to have the concert, I take it?
We're still going to have the block parties. We're going to enhance our game day festivities. We're working really, really hard on that. The Friday nights are phenomenal. The block parties are great. And those will get announced really soon. And then I think the biggest thing for us is just continuing to enhance the game day experience.
It's amazing times at McNeese, coming off a strange highs and lows peaks and valley year like I've never seen. We'll see when we come back in July. Until then, enjoy the shows from this year. My deepest thanks to our sponsors and to our fans for watching. Thanks to you, Coach, for coming on every week and doing this and putting up with me.
I wouldn't do it any
But I
anyone
wouldn't
else,
have minded the free lunch and talk about it. We'll see you next week on Punk Nation.